Good evening everyone, my name is Subete and welcome back to another video in this damn channel. And today I'll be doing a deck profile of one of my very peculiar deck, a very how will you say, unpopular deck. It is the Witch deck. Yeah, from the Shadow Paladin, not the Genesis, not the Oracle Think Tank, but the Shadow Paladin Witch. Used by Rati in the Legion Mate anime. And this deck is pretty fun. It's very gimmicky, but quite gimmicky in a way that it can still do pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. I built this deck because nobody plays it and it's cheap, but at the same time it's not cheap because they are very hard to find right now. So yeah, I just want to feel special. Yeah, I just want attention and stuff. Without further ado, let us do the deck profile. For the forerunner we'll be playing is this witch girl. I forgot her name. I don't really want to know her name. Not to be like a dick or anything, but her skill is when this unit boosts, let me rephrase that. When the unit that this unit boosted attack hits, if your Vanguard is in Legion, you may put her into the soul. If you do, search your deck for 2 Great Zeros and call them to the separate rears as rest. Shuffle your deck. So, oh, there's a spider. Even the spider wants some witch. She is pretty done okay. There's a better forerunner out there like David. But she is not bad. She can call out your critical triggers or your stand trigger. They have skill which is pretty damn good. So yeah, it just for superior calling or set up your field for something. It's just okay overall. There's a better forerunner out there, but I still play this because she is a witch and she's pretty damn cute. As such, we'll be skipping to grade 3 first. The grade 3 we'll be playing is Ria's skill. She's a Legion with one of that girl, I forgot her name, but we will get to her soon. And her second skill is auto ability. Choose one of your witch rear guards and retire it. I think if this unit is, when this unit legions, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's Vanguard and that Vanguard minus 5k power, so she can reduce your opponent's power for you to essentially to make them guard even more, unless they perfect guard, so you can't do anything about that. So it's a not bad skill. It's not really that bad, but you have to retire one of your own, so do take note. The third skill is counter blast 2. Add ability. Choose one of your opponent's rear guard with a unit on it. Your opponent look top 5 of their deck. Your opponent have to choose one Great Zero among them and call to that rearguard circle that you have chosen. So it's essentially you choose one rearguard circle, your opponent look at top 5, choose one Great Zero, and they have to call to that rearguard circle that you have chosen. So it's replacing, that existing unit into a Great Zero, just like what Rati did in the anime. That unit just became a Great Zero. It's all Mahou, as you can say. So for Rias, she's your backup grade 3 in the Witch deck. But the main star of the show in this Witch deck is Fianna, Witch Fianna. Her skill is Legion with the other girl, which I forgot her name also, but we will get into that soon. Egg ability, counter blast 2. If this unit is in Legion, choose 2 of your opponent rearguard circle with units on them. your opponent look at top 10 of their of their deck, and they have to call 2 Great Zeros among them to that Guardian. What am I saying? To that Rearguard Circle that you have chosen. So you choose 2 Rearguard Circle with units on them. Counter Blast 2. Your opponent look at top 10 of their decks. They have to choose 2 Great Zeros among them, and they call to those separate Rearguard Circle that you have chosen. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's very nice. It essentially retires them and change them into a Great Zero. It also, and since it's on the deck, it's like it's trigger thinning their deck in a way, because most of the Great Zeros in most decks are usually triggers. So yeah, it's a very good skill. I really love the skill, but the cost is really high. Counter Blast 2 is not a funny business, but we do have cards in here in the deck that can help with that. The third skill is, if your opponent have 2 or more Great Zeros on their field, you choose one of your Rearguard with the same name as your Vanguard, retire it, and you can draw 2. So more hand size for you, more defense essentially, just by retiring the same name as your Vanguard, which can be her or the Legion mate if you Legion. So yeah, it's a really good skill. Who doesn't like to draw 2? But this is a once per turn skill, so do take note. But overall, she's a very good Vanguard to ride on, to have as your Vanguard. It's just very good. For Fianna is a must for which deck, like come on. Okay, for of Diadre, that's the name, Diadre, I think. She's the Legion mate of the Rias. She's the mate for Rias. Her skill is Soul Blast 1. When this unit is placed on the Rearguard Circle, if you have a Vanguard with a Witch in the name, you may pay the cost. If you do, your opponent choose 1 Great Zero from their drop zone, and they have to call over to the Rearguard Circle of your choosing. So instead of the top 10 of the deck, your opponent have to call a Great Zero from their drop zone to the Rearguard Circle of your choosing, and it has to have a unit on it. So yeah, so this is pretty darn good to have to fulfill the condition of like where you need 2 or more Great Zeros on their field. She can help you with that by Soul Blast 1, choose 1 Great Zero from the drop, and call it onto the Rearguard Circle. So there's another additional Great Zeros to meet the condition. So yeah, she's pretty darn good to have. 4 of her, she's the mate of the Rias. So yeah, it's really good to have. For our next grade 2, we'll be playing 4 of this girl. This girl is the Legion mate for Fianna. Her skill is really simple. She's when this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Witch in the name, she gains 3k until the end of battle. So she's a 12k attacker by herself. It's very simple. Yeah, she's just pretty simple. It can hit your opponent's Vanguard, 11k Vanguard, 10k Vanguard, whatever. But we'll be playing 4 of her because she's the Legion mate for Fianna. So yeah. For our next grade 2, we will be playing 4 of this girl right here. I forgot her name, but her skill is decent. Her skill is continuous ability. If you have a Vanguard with Witch in the name and your opponent have 2 or more Great Zeros on their field, she gains 2k. And the auto ability, if this unit attack hits the Vanguard, when she attacks, you can soul charge 1 and counter charge 1. So she helps with the resource management that all these girls keep using, like the Counter Blast 2, Soul Blast 1, and all this. She helps with that resource management, and she also have that on hit pressure. So your opponent must think twice before they no guard her attack. So yeah, 4 of her. She's really good to have. She helps with resource and stuff. Yeah. For our grade 1s, 4 perfect guards. I play this perfect guard because they have wish in the name, but that's not really important. Because you know there's not a lot of what we say, like counterblast with wish in the name or something like that. There's not really a lot of that. So yeah, but I still play her because she's a witch, because why not. You can play the PG countercharger instead because counterblast is heavy in this deck, but I play her instead because I'm on a budget, and perfect guard and flippers are pretty darn expensive. The next grade 1 we will be playing is 4 of this one. Her skill is the same as the grade 2, the Diadre, where you call her, so +1, choose 1 grade 0, your opponent choose 1 grade 0 from their drop zone and call onto the rearguard circle of your choosing. So yeah, she's there to further speed up the requirement of having 2 grade 0s or more on their field. She's also, like, how you say, pseudo retire, since you're replacing your opponent's unit. So yeah, and your opponent bound to have a grade 0 in their drop zone because they have to guard, you know. So yeah, 4 of her to speed up the process of the condition. And next we'll be playing 3 of the familiar, the witch familiar cat thingamajig. The skill of this doll, this cursed doll, is when this unit is placed onto the rearguard circle, if you have a Vanguard with a witch in the name, and if your opponent have 2 or more grade 0s on their field, you may discard 1 card with witch in the name from your hand and draw 2. So this helps with more defense and more selective drawing, filtering your hand and stuff. It is very, very good for a common. So yeah, but the condition is a bit hard because you requires like 2 grade 0s on your opponent's field in order to do it, but that's why we're playing her, so to make the condition faster. So 3 of the cat familiar, because it's so good. It's just really, really good. It helps you with your hand size. You're discarding 1 to draw 2. That's like +1 to your hand size. So 3 of it. But do take note, this grade 1 is a 5k power base, so riding onto him is not optimal. Next we'll be playing 2 of this girl right here. She's a witch. I don't really use her that much, but she's still good to have. Her skill is when this unit is placed onto the rearguard circle, if you have a Vanguard with witch in the name and they are in Legion, and if your opponent have 2 or more grade 0s on their field, choose one of your opponent's Vanguard and -5k, and retire 1 witch, so you can retire herself. The condition is very, very hard. It requires a lot of stuff. It requires you to have a Legion witch. It requires you to have 2 or more grade 0s on your opponent's field. But the outcome is -5k on your opponent's Vanguard until the end of turn. So it's not that all bad, but the condition is a bit hard. That's why I'm playing 2 of her instead. I usually use her as a 5k shield fodder, but still it's there. You can ride onto her if you want. She's a 6k though, so do take note. Next, for our trigger lineup, we're playing some crits. 4 crits in a form of offense, because the only thing that the witch that can do is replacing all the rearguards into a grade 0 and maybe that thin your opponent. There's not really a lot of offense, so we'll be playing crits. We'll be playing even more crits down here. Yep, more this crit right here. This is the crit from GPT-3. Her skill is continuous ability. If you have a witch Vanguard that is in Legion, she gets the act ability skill. The act ability is if your opponent have 2 or more grade zeros on their Vanguard, no, on their field, I mean, you may return her back to the top of the deck, and your opponent's Vanguard will minus 5k. So this is very good because she's a trigger that can return back to deck, a critical trigger no less, so there's more crits in your deck, and she can help reduce your opponent's Vanguard power by 5k, so your opponent have to guard even more. So yeah, it's a very good critical trigger. It's very good. It's just very it's good. It's just good. There's no words, better words for it. It's just good. It's the best critical trigger for the Wish deck. Next, we're playing 4 stand. This stand has skill. If this unit is placed on the rear guard circle, and if you have Vanguard with Wish in the name, and your opponent have 2 or more grade zeros on their field, so charge 1 and counter charge 1. So she helps with resource management by calling her, because you'll be soul blasting, you'll be counter blasting. So in order to replenish that, she's there. It's a trigger with skill, so why not? 4 of this stand. And of course, we gotta have heals. This is the Witch heal, thankfully, from the GFC04. Her skill is if you G guard with the other Witch G Guardian, you may choose a card from your hand and discard it and draw one. So she helps with hand filtering. If you have too many grade 3s in your hand which you don't really need, you can just discard that grade 3 and draw a card, hopefully for a form of like a shield or something. So she helps with your hand filter. But most importantly, she's a witch. She's a witch. That's important. For our for our G zone, we'll be playing 4 Sinclair. Sinclair is so good. I love Sinclair. Thank God for Sinclair. Sinclair's skill is Act ability, counter blast 1 with Witch in the name. Wait, no, it's just counter blast 1. You don't have to counter blast with a Witch in the name. Counter blast 1 if your hard card has a Witch in the name and your opponent have 2 or more grade zeros on their field. Your opponent look at top 10 of their deck, choose 1 grade 0 and write it as stand. And they shuffle their deck and choose one of your opponent's Vanguard, and it get the skill, the auto skill. When this unit is being attacked, counter blast 1. If you do, choose any card from your hand and call it to the Guardian Circle as rest. And the second auto ability, at the end of the turn, choose 1 card from your soul and write it as stand. So what this does, right? To put it in perspective, is you counter blast 1. If your opponent have 2 or more grade zeros, your opponent look at top 10 of their decks. They have to choose 1 grade 0 among them and write it as stand. So your opponent Vanguard is now a grade 0, which in turn meaning that their Vanguard is now a 5k base or 4k base and a grade 0. Of course, I have to emphasize on grade 0, which means they cannot guard with grade 1 and above because their Vanguard is grade 0. You can't guard with anything, with any card with grade higher than your Vanguard. So yeah, but if they want to guard with grade 1 and above, they have to counter blast 1 in order to do so. So if they want to perfect guard, counter blast 1 and perfect guard. So it wastes their resource to guard. It gives that pressure. It just so good to have. It really restricts them from their defensive power. They have to guard even more because they have become a grade 0. It's just so good. And the best thing about this, your opponent cannot G Guardian. Why? It's because the condition for G Guardian is to have both Vanguard to be grade 3, but because of Sinclair, your opponent's Vanguard is grade 0. Now they cannot use G-Guard because it's not grade 3. So yeah, it's just so good to have. It really pull them down from their defensive power. It is just so good. That's why I'm playing 4 of her. Sinclair is Bay. Sinclair is just, oh my god. Thankful. It's so good. I love it. For our next G zone cards, our G unit, for Phantom Blaster Diablo, you know Phantom Blaster Diablo. At least play 2 in most of it is like a must play for most of the Shadow Paladin decks. Phantom Blaster Diablo is Counter Blast 1 and G Flip, the same name as this card. If your G zone has 2 or more face up G, this unit will get 10k and 1 crit until the end of turn, and they get the skill. When this unit attacks, retire 3 of your unit, and okay, let me rephrase that. Let me repeat myself. I just lost the train of thought there. Egg ability once per turn, Counter Blast 1 and G Flip and another copy of Phantom Blaster Diablo. If a G zone has 2 or more face up G, this unit gets 10k and 1 crit, and the auto ability, when this unit attacks, retire 3, not more, of your rear guard. And if you do, your opponent have to retire up to 2 of their rear guard. If they do not retire 2, they cannot call cards from their hand to the Guardian Circle. So it just straight up restrict them from guarding from their hand. And yeah, it just restrict them from guarding from hand if they unable to retire 2 or more, retire 2 rear guard, I mean. So if you see your opponent having like, how will you say, like 1 rear guard left, you just strike Phantom Blaster Diablo. But the downside is they can G guard. So yeah, it's either, so you have 2 choices essentially. It's either you want to restrict them from G guarding, or you let them G guard. So yeah, two ways, you know. But in the end, the 10k 1 crit is always good. 4 copies of Phantom Blaster Diablo because it's Phantom Blaster Diablo. For the rest of the G zone is pretty much up to you at this point. You can play Aurigizer Doom, you can play Jack Strider Lowart, you can play Jack Wizard, no, Jack something Lowart or something. You can play Jack Anja Ogma or something. It's really up to you at this point. So, but for me, right, because I like to go budget, 2 Animus Power, Ritual 3, this unit gets 5k for every grade 1 in your drop zone, so it can reach high numbers. Yeah, it can reach high numbers, which in turn force them to perfect guard or something. I'm on budget. 2 Carnivore Dragon, because I'm on budget once again. When ability once per turn, retire 1 of your own unit, and your opponent have to retire 2 of their unit. If they cannot retire 2, your front row gets 4k power. So yeah, Carnivore Dragon from the Lowart Trial deck. But that's really, because I'm playing budget, that's all really I have. You can switch them for like maybe Doom and Spectral Diablo maybe, or Jack Angel Ogma, 1 Ogma, or 1 Jack Strider Lowart or something, you know. It's really up to you at this point. It's all up to the player preference. But for me, I'll be playing this because I have no more money. I can't invest anymore on Witch because Witch is rare as hell. And I have spent a lot of my budget already on the deck itself. So yeah. For our G Guardian, one of the Witch G Guard from the FC04, the skill is GB1, and this unit is placed onto the Guardian Circle. G Guardian Flip 1, if you do choose up to 2 grade 1 and below cards from your field and call them to the Guardian Circle. If 2 are called, draw 1. So she's pretty okay in the Witch deck, because in the Witch deck you usually have like 2 grade 0s lying around on your field, or maybe a grade 0 and grade 1, like the critical trigger and the cat, the familiar maybe. So if you jig out with her, you can just pull them to the Guardian Circle, pull it to the Guardian Circle and stuff, because by then they will be like a dead weight, you know. And you get to draw 1. So she's pretty good in the Witch deck, but in the other deck like Diablo deck or Lowat deck or Cloud Sword deck, she's not all that good. So she's the best for Witch. Hence Witch. G Guardian. Yeah. Next we'll be playing one Luvic. Luvic is there because, like I said, you usually will have a grade 0 or grade 1 lying around on your field, being worthless. So you just jig out with Luvic and get the worthless card into the Guardian Circle to help you with guarding. So yeah, one Luvic. And the next is the best G Guardian that Shadow Paladin have ever have, Cloudmaker Dragon. Retro 3 plus 10k shield, that's it. It's just that good. All you need is 3 grade 1s in your drop zone and Cloudmaker gets a free 10k shield. So yeah, very very good. Play 2 of it. And that's about it for our you know, Witch deck, which is it's really gimmicky. It's really fun to play, but there's one thing you can never debate with or anything. There's one thing that is a fact actually, is that Witch is very outdated. Bushiroad, please, more Witch support. Make Witch great again. Rati is crying in the corner because there's like no Witch support for like the last 9 booster or something. So yeah, it's just very sad to have. It's very, you know, pain to think about it. But still, being a very outdated deck, it still holds up in the current, I wouldn't say current meta, but it still holds up. It does have the element of surprise. So yeah, that's one good thing about the Witch. So if you guys like the deck profile, do leave us a like, do comment, do share the video also. And if you want to see more of this kind of content, do consider to subscribe. And I will see you guys next time for another deck profile, or maybe unboxing, or maybe another showdown if you like. Do request what you want next. I will see you guys next time.